chapter 13, starting with verse 1. The same day Jesus went out of the house and sat beside the sea. Great crowds gathered about him, so that he got into a boat and sat down. And the whole crowd stood on the beach, and he told them many things in parables, saying, A sower went out to sow. And as he sowed, some seeds fell along the path, and the birds came and devoured them. Other seeds fell on rocky ground, where they did not have much soil, and immediately they sprang up, since they had no depth of soil. But when the sun rose, they were scorched, and since they had no root, they withered away. Other seeds fell among thorns, and the thorns grew up and choked them. Other seeds fell on good soil and produced grain, some 100-fold, some 30, some 60. He who has ears to hear, let him hear. Parallel for this morning that I wanted to draw from this, specifically tied up with the seeds on the rocky ground. There was a passage that was tied up from earlier in the scripture in Psalm 1. Because it says they had no root. And when the winds came and the sun-scorched winds came, they were blasted and they withered out. Psalm 1. Blessed is the man who walks not in the counsel of the wicked, nor stands in the way of sinners, nor sits in the seat of scoffers. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and on his law he meditates day and night. He is like a tree planted by streams of water that yields its fruit in its season, and its leaf does not wither, because the roots are connected to the river, to the streams. In all he does, he prospers. The wicked are not so, but are like chaff that the wind drives away. Therefore the wicked will not stand in the judgment, nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous. For the Lord knows the way of the righteous, but the way of the wicked will perish. That word for wither just means wilt. It means to not have adequate water supply running into your leaves. We are frequently faced with situations in which we do not have adequate roots, and the Lord is trying to build in us adequate roots. The purpose for that is so that we can grow even in the midst of the rocks and the other things that need to get pounded and beaten out of us. Sometimes he is going to allow you to get cut and pruned back, and sometimes he is just going to say, you grow, and your roots are the thing that will split the rocks open. Your roots are the things that will be the hammer. Your roots are the things that sustain you. And sometimes he is going to permit that straining and removal of water so that he can cause your roots to deepen. So he'll prune you back, and then he'll remove the water so that your roots can deepen, so that you can sustain the smaller portion that he has pruned you back to. Because after he has pruned you, there's less that is needed to be taken care of. And year by year, as your roots grow and deepen, they find more water and greater access to other aspects of water in other areas where there is water. The aquifers that are underground, the rainwater, the runoff, the streams that are half a mile away, whatever the case. We were made to hear from him, be pruned by him, in order to withstand the winds that are coming, the scorching of the sun. That is coming, and not wilt. Do you have anything to add, my dear?
Pruning process is hard and painful sometimes, but you know, a good farmer, a good gardener, the person who's doing that in the natural is going to prune back their plants for health benefits for the plant. And it feels yucky. You've got this big, huge, beautiful plant, and all of a sudden you've trimmed it down to not a whole lot. And you know, there could be the perception of, you know, the plant being in pain. You know, some plants ooze when you snip off, and you're like, ah, you know. But the truth is that it does strengthen the roots. It forces the roots to get stronger. It forces them to go down. Talk about the dry winds, the Sirocco's coming, and you know, and you get a plant that's just, you know, it's so dry. But what's happening underground is it's looking for water. Now, we had a situation where we had plants that were desperately looking for water, and they invaded our water line. That was horrible. And very, very, very expensive. But you know, it makes the root very resourceful, and a resourceful root is going to be stronger. It's important for us to, you know, when the Lord starts doing that kind of surgery on us or pruning us back, instead of going out and going, well, what are you doing to me? Stop! I hate this, and trying to run from it. This is a good time to get earned authority and walk through the productive pain and say, you know what, Lord, I'm yours. I'm on the altar. I'm there in a couple of places right now, and there is nothing I can do about certain situations in my life right now, and you know, the pull to escape pain is very strong. And there's all kinds of ways that the enemy presents to you to escape pain. Ways that I don't generally struggle with, that I have been amazed even in my mind. And so that's just something I can't let him offer me. I mean, he can offer all he wants. I have to keep my eyes on the Lord. And to walk through a productive pain, and walk through pain is a pruning, and there's a deepening of the roots, and there's a Sirocco winds, and there's, you know, hard, painful things, but they produce good things if you walk through them with the Lord.
For those of you that were curious as to what that word was that she was saying that accompanied winds, it's Sirocco. There is a article in Wikipedia that details this, so I can spell it out for you so you can go and look it up later, but I'm going to read a piece of this article. Sirocco, Sirocco.
That sounds like sriracha.
Sirocco is a Mediterranean wind that comes from the Sahara and can reach hurricane speeds in North Africa and southern Europe, especially during the summer season. It arises from a warm, dry, tropical air mass that is pulled northward by low-pressure cells moving eastward across the Mediterranean Sea, with the winds originating in the Arabian or Saharan deserts. The hotter, drier continental air mixes with the cooler, wetter air of the maritime cyclone, and the counterclockwise circulation of the low propels the mixed air across the southern coast of Europe, and I would also add areas in the Middle East, because if it's coming from the Arabian desert, it's going to pull across Israel, and those winds are going to blast the crops, and the farmer knows this, so the farmer prepares. And by making the tree have less material that is exposed above ground so that the roots can handle it. The Sirocco causes dry, dusty air conditions along the northern coast of Africa, storms in the Mediterranean Sea, and cool, wet weather in Europe. Its duration may be as short as half a day, or it may last several days. While passing over the Mediterranean Sea, the Sirocco picks up moisture, which results in rainfall in the southern part of Italy, locally known as the blood rain due to the red sand mixing with the falling rain. Many people attribute health problems to the Sirocco, either because of the heat and dust along the African coastal regions or because of the cool dampness in Europe. But this also affects, since it pulls from the Arabian desert, Israel. So because the farmer knows this, and because Jesus knew this, he took the illustration and he said, okay, I'm going to prune back. We got rocky soil. Psalm 1, we're going to prune back. And then Matthew 13. They'll get blasted because they have very little root, which is why we need to ask for the hammer of the Lord to break up the rocks. And those things would seek to assault the work of Jesus in our lives. And given that this is the first of the 7 parables of the kingdom in the Gospel of Matthew, this parallels the redemptive gift of prophet quite nicely. Prophets typically are those who will get blasted on a regular and repeated and consistent basis, and they have to know how to drive their roots down deep and hunt for the Lord in the depths while they're getting pounded on the outside by other believers, people, the world, you name it, the culture, whatever the case. So, those are just some thoughts, and I bless y'all to consider them and ponder and meditate on them today. Love you guys.